Hold on a second, sending the message. But yeah, okay, so anyways, yeah, just I'm done with my what happened. Just from the multi-stream, just switch to the YouTube. So there's not a good light. But yeah, whew, a bit tired. It was better than nothing for sure. This seems better. Yeah, it will. It's always lagging when I multi-stream. Okay, but yeah, there's so many things to work on. Just put it like this. Yeah, that should be better. But yeah, anyways, just so many things to work on. As I said, like I can work like my footwork, I'm working on it quite a lot. And it's not like necessarily doing like jumping like this all the time, but it's just, you know, being able to do it. Because previously my main problem was legs. But now it's also because I haven't been sparring before the last trainings. It's been like 2 years prior since I sparred last time. And yeah, the sense of how to get them in, proper protection, distance control, that kind of stuff, takes a little time to get there, like in the action. So, hi everyone, hi to the new people especially. But yeah, anyway, so the main part of the training is done. If you want to see what I did, it was lagging a little bit because I was multi-streaming on YouTube and Twitch. But yeah, now I just switched to the YouTube. Thank you for all the nice words here in the chat. But yeah, let's work on a little bit on the stuff that so basically we were working on getting hit like in the liver, closing the punch, keeping hands up, and once you get the punch, the person opens, going with the same kind of like this stuff. I didn't use that thing before, and obviously it takes time to get used to it, but it's like and it just it gives you a chance to get in closer. But yeah, trying to get there. I mean, I haven't had a sparring with girls yet, so it might happen this week with the amateur team of Georgia girls. And you know, it's just like most of them are quite young, and they're not very experienced, and there are different levels to it. There's some more experienced, some less experienced, and it's just the good environment to start from. Hello there, it's always nice to see you putting in the work. Hi Tika, thank you very much. Good to see you here. Okay, but yeah, I mean, pretty much my main part of training is done. I just try to process certain things we worked on. In reality, let's keep it simple. The truth is, I'm short, even for the flyweight, which is like a 50 kgs. I'm still short. There still might be girls that are taller than me, and that means I just need to do whatever it takes to get in and throw short, sharp, hard punches. Vad analizę pracę z masterem snikan?
Oh, master stream.
ხო, ეგ მარტივია, დაბალი ვარ, უნდა მიეჩიო, შევედი, ავირიქულე, დავღალე, მიიმწნე ხში მასკენ და მე რო იღლება, მე უფრო პამ 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 პამ, ხო ესე. ხო. Tonic is gonna come on.
ან რო გიიტყავ, ბატონ, შეფოღია.
პამ, აი ესე ხო მოდის, ხო. კი, ანუ ეს გინდა არ გინდა?
პამ, პამ, წამოიღე. Agats იგივე, პამ, პამ. არა,
პამ, პამ.
და ეგრევე ღია.
ხო. აი ესე ცალკე კიდე ვავარჯიშებ. პამ, 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 პამ. So yeah, we're just talking. So Tony just came over, left kids and came over just to show it quickly. So the key of this movement, the whole point of it is get punch, and widens the gap, straight away throw that punch. At least start the combination, then you can go heavier. This is how you cut and win through on the distance. Same this side, get down, up, for example, uppercut, up to the head, straight, up to the head, straight, kind of thing. So those are like you already are closer from, then you can go heavier punches. And obviously that is also an extra point. If you manage to do it, obviously there is always chance you can still get hit, but I mean, it's boxing. You're gonna get hit in your head, so you kind of put that aside. You try to have as good guard as possible. You use those, work on that specific drill as develop that reflex, and that's already simple. That already could be a strategy. So, like obviously, I can throw a couple long punches, then I step in a longer distance, get in, bam, 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 and again back to the longer distance, or still stay there, cut angles, and the more opponent gets tired, I mean the whole point is you don't get tired as much as they do. When they do get tired more than you, hopefully, then you can do more aggressive, put more energy to break them psychologically. That's pretty much the strategy behind it. I mean, there's so many ways how to do it, and there's contradicting styles too. Obviously, against this style getting in, a good distance work, like someone with the long limbs and that have they kind of throw their punches the way that they close that gap. So you have to get very, very close to get to them. So that style can contradict that one. But again, it depends how you execute it. If you execute your style better than they execute theirs, it's also if you can switch. And switch, obviously that's not the only thing as a shorter person you would do. Obviously you can do shifts, you can do shifting angles, you can do get this thing, and you don't go only straight, you go and do bum, 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 and you go diagonally while throwing those punches. Obviously there are some diversifications. Same for the longer distance, they basically just can do whatever, as long as they do good at it. That's very hard to get to them. Another advantage that a shorter person can have, if they're strong, if they're powerful, more powerful than the taller person, the impactful punches. So yes, you might get some punches get hit on your hands, on your arms, in the worst case to your face. But then when you throw those 1, 2, 3 punches, for example, and those land and have a true impact, the opponent, that exhausts them, they try to be more careful, it psychologically triggers them. So usually I see the shorter people, when they're more powerful, in that case, this is one thing they can use as their advantage. But yeah, anyways, let's look at the chat. Kids make noise. Yes, let me show you a little. So kids having a class here. Yeah, just very precious, very sweet. This is how it should be. I've seen enough. Let her fight Topuria. Obviously no, but I would love to train with him, that's for sure. Valentina Shevchenko. Valentina is great. Her upcoming fight with Zhang Weili is going to be exciting. Where is this gym? This is Tbilisi. Georgia, Tbilisi. So the gym is called Prime Boxing, and yeah, it's always open for everyone. Everyone is welcome. I hate boxing, I love you. That's quite a statement. Canelo or Crawford? I don't know, can go both ways. I still lean towards Crawford winning by submission or the unanimous or the split decision, just by outboxing by points because of his style and his type of boxing. But it's still, I wouldn't be surprised if it goes a knockout from Canelo's side or Crawford's side as well. We'll see. I'm not exactly 100% sure. So I've been saying that, and I still stick to that. The same thing, that I think because they're both good, I don't think it's going to be a knockout from either side. But if it's not going to be a knockout from either side, Crawford, I think, going to outbox Canelo. I worried about train injury, not at this moment. I'm quite good. Do you work or just travel? In the life randomly. Well, YouTube and live streaming is sort of my work now because it's kind of working itself off, and I'm personal trainer online, so that's how I work. I work remotely. That's how I can travel, and my husband has remote income as well, so we both are free to travel. But right now I'm back to my home country, my home city, Georgia, Tbilisi, and here I'm in the gym of my very close friends. That's their gym. And I usually, when I come over, I'll help them with some groups, some trainings as well, which I will do for next 2 months until we stay here. But I'm preparing here for my my first boxing fight in years. I would prepare it here. That's like a primary location for me to train. I'm from Georgia, the country, as I said. Yeah, my husband is a moderator here, Chris, and he says, Georgia. Can you put Clarissa to sleep? No, because she's like this tall, I think, towards like comparing to me. But I would like to be friends with her. I think she's one of the best female boxers. Good morning. Have the best day. You too. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Wishing you good fortune and success. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. With your boxing GOAT, Tyson, all time Tyson. Then Manny Pacquiao, Roy Jones Jr., Bernard Hopkins, and there's so on. There are many boxers I do love and appreciate. It's just those are like the first few that I really, really like. The modern ones, Ukrainians, all Ukrainian famous ones like Usyk, Triple G, and Lomachenko, and I would say Gervonta Davis, like purely as a boxer. As I said, Crawford by split or unanimous decision, as I said. You versus Merab size-wise, you have the advantage. You know that Merab's cardio is unbeatable. Which is success in your bout. It's not going to happen for next few months. I mean, when I trained and I talked to my friends and other coaches, we established that I need at least 5-6 months of proper, consistent training. First part of those few months would be just getting like a baseline conditioning, just get comfortable in sparring, so all the kind of stuff. And then obviously at camp time, training camp. And then by the time, if everything goes good with the US, because we're invited for a few months stay to our friends to join him to help him with some stuff. But he's also in the training field and like ex-fighter himself. And it would be amazing to have a first fight, a professional fight in US. It would be amazing. If not, probably Georgia, probably somewhere else. I have some friends and we have some connections who organize fights and they can find someone. And you know, with the pro boxing, it's always like this. It's always like this. Unlike the amateur, it's not like whoever you have to fight, and you know pretty much everyone who is in your same weight class and all that kind of stuff. In the pro boxing, first few fights matter, and it's like it has to be gradual. You know, it has to be like at your level or maybe slightly higher, but it shouldn't be way too big difference. That's why you have some of the journeymans who, you know, like. It's like a boxing ecosystem. You have good boxers, you have stars, and you have journeymen, and all of them have their place there, and you know there is no disrespect. So yeah, it's like I believe that first fight should be like a good match for you, not too low. Obviously, I don't agree with someone that you just fight someone just to look good, who is way lower of your level, but also if you fight with someone who is like way above you, it just almost not going to be a point. You're going to lose that fight, and if you do lose first few fights of your professional career, it's just going to kill your motivation to keep going on. So yeah, just a couple words about the boxing ecosystem, how it works. Okay, I keep scrolling up, guys. Where are you from? I'm from Georgia. How will you handle fighting a trans? It's actually interesting. So now, we at least in amateur boxing, in pro boxing, there's also handpick. Like you have a manager or you have like a team, and it's more negotiable. But in amateur boxing now, in world boxing, my friend Anna, she was supposed to go from the Belgium side there, but they didn't manage to make proper visa for her. She didn't manage even to go there. And but she's in contact with the teammates and stuff like that. And what happened in the world boxing world championship organized by World Boxing, entire French female team was not admitted, or something like that. At least few of them. Because they were late, on sending the results of the gender test, and just because it was like a day or two late or something like that, they just canceled them. So it seems to be way more stricter now, and it's good. This is how it should be. I mean, no offense and no disrespect to anyone, but if you have an issue regarding majorities' health over minorities, let's be honest, we take majority. Charles Oliveira is my favorite one. That's UFC. Salts on steroids. It's cheating. It feels good. Well, there are other ways how to do a legal enhancement of your body, like clear eating, good sleep, supplementation. There are certain interesting types of supplements. They're not the steroids, not anabolic steroids, but they can help, like some mushroom supplements, stuff like that. Obviously, always gotta check the guidelines if it's prohibited or not. But steroids is like just a cheat code, just easy way, especially for women. Like, it's so drastic on women. I know someone who is in boxing locally, and she seemed like she changed. Not like crazy changed, but her masculinity changed within a short period of time. And to get that type of change, you need, like as a woman, you would need to train at least 6 months to a year to actually gradually transform that way. But all of a sudden she just changed. And yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's unfair. It's a little bit of a gray area yet. Понимаешь по-русски? Yes, I understand and I speak Russian. Okay. What is your recommendation for road work duration, 3 miles, 5 miles, 3 days a week. I mean, I'm more for interval cardio, interval sprints, interval like 4x4 VO2 max training, heavy back boxing, or like rounds, burnouts, that kind of stuff. Just running miles. I think like a short, like 3 miles, I think is a lot. Maybe 2 miles, 1 mile, 2 miles at the maximum, just jogging. But even then, like the longer you go, it's different type of endurance, and you can become good at running, and it to a certain extent develops your cardio. But if you look at the new training protocols, sprints and interval cardios are way more beneficial for that type of endurance that combat sports require. Steroids should be either 100% allowed or not at all. I think it would be cool to have the one that openly allows it so everyone who wants to use them can follow transparency. Well, it's interesting suggestion. The problem is that genetically everyone's body is individual. Some people are genetical freaks, and they perceive it so well, they like take 100% out of it, like it just the basic portion of it. When the other people actually almost like fall apart and collapse and develop some sort of issues with their health. So it really, really depends. I think that's the only reason that could be like, it could be a little bit tricky. I don't think it's just not a lot of people take it well. Would you fight someone if you knew they were on steroids? That's a good question. Again, that's why I lean towards pro boxing, because if I'm gonna know that it's someone who has the history of doing, steroids that have been caught before, maybe not. I would consult with my team, with my manager, with my coach. At that point, like at that level, you're gonna have a team, and we would decide. Also, I'm aiming for the flyweight. It's a faster weight division. It's less knockout power, less damaging. So it's more would transit into a speed and reaction. And well, that's the thing. Again, really depends. In amateur boxing, again, it's now getting more and more strict with things. But it's still, we can still do cycle in, cycle out. And if you're lucky, you don't get caught. And it is a tricky thing. It definitely is. Rehydration rules should be in all combat sports, and rehydration rules should be in all combat sports. And I know she agrees. Hopefully she sees this one now. Yes, my husband says the hydration tests, and I think one championship has hydration tests, and it's very good. It just basically, if you're dehydrated after the weight cut and you don't rehydrate, you don't manage to rehydrate within 24 hours sometimes, because sometimes you have a fight within 24 hours. That is such a high risk for a potential brain damage development, like CT, all that kind of stuff. So one of the important things that needs to be added everywhere, I think, I agree completely, the hydration tests. Okay, Lasha Maisura doesn't like my top, but I mean, what can I do? Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Do you feel frustrated when people ask you questions or comment on their, other than fighting in UFC, like when they comment on your body? Not really. I just try to, like, from that kind of stuff I detach. I put myself on YouTube, like I know that I'm trying to grow my platform, and the bigger it's gonna get, the more people gonna say different comments. So it's my responsibility to stay calm and just not react to certain things. That's what I believe in. Can it get annoying? Sometimes, maybe, but I'm quite chill. I'm quite chill with the stuff, and also as much as other people, I try to focus on the actual valid questions and certain good points that people say in the chat. So I just try to focus on those things. Good age for kids to start training, I think from the very beginning, when they're toddlers, just start hanging them on the pull-up bar to develop those little hands and develop the grip. And then some playful sort of gymnastics and some games and that kind of sports where they just play a lot, but they develop flexibility and strengths and they just shape up. Then if you want a combat sport child, if you wanted to grow your child into a martial arts, then I think wrestling and BJJ, any type of grappling is a good idea at the early age. And striking can be introduced into pre-teenage period. Competitive boxing, amateur boxing starts from 11 years, 11, 12 or something like that. So that could be a good time, 10, 11, 12 could be a good time for kids to be introduced for striking as well. And then they can choose, I guess, whatever they want, but it's a priceless skill that you can give them kind of without asking them, but grow them into the physical agility, speed, health, body control, and a mindset of the winner. She's Slavic. I'm partially Slavic. Okay, I keep scrolling up. Canelo versus Crawford. Crawford by split or unanimous decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if there is a knockout performance from the either way. Like, are you just interested about this, or are you a professional boxer? I want to start. I want to do my professional boxing debut. So I kind of show my journey and training and stuff. So yeah, it is what it is. Okay. Okay. I'm just keep scrolling up, guys. Okay. Exactly. It teaches them positive. It teaches them respect and teaches them responsibility and community. I would add that one too. No, absolutely agree. There was another message from Chad saying, "Howdy, Kyla again. Nice to see you." I think you should start your kid in those types of things at a very young age. With the way the world is nowadays, I started karate at the age of, I believe, 12. Yeah, gotcha. No, it's a good point. I mean, you gotta build in some resilience and respect and accountability, all those strong qualities in your children. But who says it has to be enforced on them? Just as a parent, it's your responsibility to create a healthy environment where they absorb it, and they absorb it firstly, taking an example from you, from parents. Mirroring your behavior, mirroring your community's behavior, and obviously just growing into it, Okay, keep scrolling up, guys. Isn't Crawford going up in the weight? Yeah, I think so, but it's in boxing, unlike UFC, for example, there's quite small gaps between the weight classes. That's why in boxing you can have a 5 weight class champion, and Manny Pacquiao has the biggest range, which is 8 weight categories. So I don't think it should be a problem for Crawford. You're very inspiring. Thank you very much. No, not to enforce. It just to add it into your everyday play with them, to make it something they would want to do, and it's not something they would have to do. Yeah, no, absolutely. I didn't contradict what you said. I just kind of make clear what I'm saying. And as a parent, that's your responsibility to do it, to trick them to do certain things in a way. Because kids always gonna say, "Oh, I'm tired. I don't want to do this." But as a parent, it's your responsibility to set an example by your own actions, but also, create an environment where they essentially do that. And trust me, they're gonna thank you when they grow up. Exactly. Thank you for answering to my comments. Appreciate it. Well, you had a very valid point. What's an MMA record? I don't have an MMA record. Just do calisthenics. Calisthenics are great, even for martial artists and combat sport performers. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I like that's the thing. I keep getting used to. Like I've been working, like my jab, for example, this side has been developed, but that's not exactly a perfect style for me. It can be integrated into like general movement, but like essentially it's very hard for me to do this, like classic Soviet style, because I'm almost always shorter than my opponents. So now we're trying to work on guard up, using like a reflective bump, just bump, 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 like this, and then just getting in like bump, 1, 2, 3, for example, and close again. Obviously, can always walk away, reset a little bit from the further distance, but pretty much just pressing and pressing and pressing, and I'll try to things that really work. Keep it up, you're doing great. Thank you very much. I'm trying. In your opinion, what was the Mike Tyson's downfall? Kaz D'Amato's death. That's what I think when it started. Are you Southpaw or Orthodox? I'm Orthodox. This is Orthodox. The stream is reversing the original form, but like this is Orthodox. But I try one of the things I do, and what I really want to get into groove. Obviously, I have the dominating stance, and let's say I do like pump, 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 get in, but then all of a sudden I change the stance. So there are certain combos like pump, 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 and all of a sudden, just for a second, you can, because this right, the Orthodox always have a problem. We move to the left side. And with the chatter, when it's Orthodox against Orthodox, it's not that much of the problem. It's more like exchange. You move a little bit. But when you meet the Southpaw, they out-step you and they lock you in the position when, in that case, if you can change the stance, like all of a sudden, it's easier to just cut the angle immediately from the other side. I've been always struggling with that. And yeah, it was just hard for me to get the groove of it, but now I'm trying to just train that specific element, integrate, if not fully develop the Southpaw position, at least integrate it partially in certain moments. I guess I have my dad to thank for beating crap out of me as a kid. Because, well, that's the thing, the way it was, and if you ended up tough and resilient and you worked through that stuff, it's great. You like, strong people never whine about their past, you know what? But they also learn what they would do differently from their parents. I never regret what happened in my past. Was that also perfect with my family and was my parents? But there are definitely a lot of things that I'm not going to do to my kids. I'm going to teach them how to become tough or grow them into tough people in a different way. There are healthy ways how to do it. And sports and training is one of the like a very big tool for it. Like as the lifestyle, if they're great in that lifestyle, they're already by definition they're tougher, more resilient, more disciplined, more responsible, more focused than most of other people. Chris says, be respectful, we will just ban you for nonsense. Yes, that's true. What helped me was I put a piece of tape on one side of the room and one side of the piece of tape on the other, and I would walk bobbing up and down as I walked back and forced to work on the hip motion. Yeah, it's a good one. A similar one, we would just put the rope from the ring, one side of the ring and another, and we would do like, different movements, like that kind of exercise, and you have a rope always above your head, so it helps to develop the movement. For basics, what kind of moves I have to do? Just get into, establish your stance, keep it a little bit like around in the width of your shoulders, a little bit diagonally, so this is front, right? Step back, turn a little bit diagonally, that should be fine. Obviously it can be almost frontal, it can be more sideways, that's manageable, but just get the neutral stance and then start jab, cross, throwing punches. You basically just learn how to do this movement, shifting the balance between right and left legs. So that's like the first thing you do in front of the mirror, and then you add up punches, you add up sleeps, weaves, sleeps, and rolls, and just practice. I hear Tyson documentary cast take him off the streets. He adopted him essentially too. Like he was like a big time a father figure for him. And Tyson even spoke emotionally about how much important he was to him. Got that Manny Pacquiao rhythm. I mean, I wish, but Manny Pacquiao is like one of my favorite old-timers. Can you really fight men? No. But men, my friends specifically, helped me to get better. That's like in the fighting community, training community, in martial arts. We don't compete. We respect each other. We respect if we're bigger, smaller, men, women, children, adults. We respect each other and we try to help each other to get better. Ballet techniques, she knows what she's talking about. I appreciate it. I mean, I'm a curious person. I'm trying some things in my life and gradually learning more and more about, through practice, but also through learning from certain documentaries. I like watching fights. I like rewatching old fights. Talk to other people who are more experienced and better in all those things than me. And yeah, just generally, I'm blessed to be able to be in that environment and community. Do you know judo? Not really. I tried some throws. I mean, I practiced a little bit, but nothing, not even remotely close to anything serious. Always try to have southpaw moment. Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. I don't want to be behind on the chat. Is Tyson actually fighting Mayweather? Well, at least there are talks. I haven't seen it confirmed, but it's like now like a money thing. But a better thing to me than Paul versus Tyson. Why do boxers beat the fun out of each other and then hug after the match? Because they don't hate each other, because they actually do respect each other, and sometimes it can get personal, but usually it's not. Like we have the rule, everyone who steps on the ring deserves the respect. It's a community of helping and learning and teaching, not a community of anything else. Yeah, that's true. Hi everyone. Hi to new people from all around. for those people who say go train, I already trained. This is like a after training live stream. So I try to respond to questions and to just engage in the chat. But Jake Paul made more money beating up Jerry Tyson than most fighters ever will in their lives. Well, a lot of people do things that give them, they make a lot of money with, but those things are not necessarily good or respected. Well, good for them, make money. But, you know, I heard someone quite wealthy, I don't remember, maybe it's actually a general quote, but I heard someone said that from the certain point, there's a certain amount of money, let's say per month or per year, that is... Oh. Yeah, that's okay. So there are certain people, there's a certain amount of money, like that calculated per month or per year, that is like you want to have to live, like afford pretty much everything you want, you know, everything you would want into an adequate, like really that could bring your happiness, your family, you know, like make sure that everyone's healthy, everyone's safe, everyone lives a good life, can have a good education, all that kind of stuff. You can travel. And then about that, it starts that it's just adding up more and more money. And it becomes to the point that you just become greedy and you start wasting it on nonsense. It becomes like a show competing with others. Or it just becomes, you just, you know, just put it in, not savings, actually very rich people you always move their money around, but the point is for the living and for being happy and thriving, there is a certain amount and it's kind of enough. And when they say like, oh, he's making so much money, and then what? I mean, good for him, he made some money, but what they are doing is completely, it doesn't really cause the respect in people, in most of the people. Except the ones who are like, oh, they're making money, they're so rich, and because that's like a end goal for them. But money only as itself, and unlimited money, is not an end goal to me. Tony Ferguson's next Jake Paul victim. Like that would be very cruel because Tony Ferguson definitely has a CTE signs, and that guy is just gonna, I don't know, probably die in the octagon or on the ring, and it's just very sad. And again, if that would happen, again, it doesn't add up. It doesn't. I don't gain more respect towards Jake Paul. You know, to me, he just becomes more and more like a joke. And that's a sad thing because Jake Paul's form is not bad at all. He's actually good. And there is a difference between being able to do all the, like, you know, good pad work, heavy bag work, light sparring, all that kind of stuff. And then you have a transiting phase when you actually put all of that on the ring in the actual real bout. He just doesn't do it. I don't know why. I think it would be cool if it was a little bit different when, let's say, he's a YouTuber and people don't take him seriously, and then he becomes one of the best like cruiserweight heavyweights out there, like becomes solid. I think that would be a super cool story of, like, you know, actually creating something of substance, but that's not the thing. All of these fights are rigged, and it's just like a money trap. You bring so much good to the boxing community and humankind in general. Thank you, Kyla. You always are so sweet. Thank you very much. Touch well in the beginning, you hug in the end. Ankalaev versus Pereira too. Who you got? As much as I love Pereira, if he's gonna have the same attitude as the first fight, no way. I hope he's back different. Yeah, I mean, also he will have to again do the takedown defenses, but also show himself way better in the striking and actually willing to fight. That's what I think about Alex. And he's one of my favorite UFC fighters. I have box training in 2 hours. Good for you. What made McGregor, Floyd, and Tyson so great? It was not their boxing, it was their ability to sell fights. Well, the difference is all of them really fought, and that made the fights exciting. McGregor really fought until like his first loss was Nate Diaz, and then Khabib, and then Mayweather. It went downhill. Dustin Poirier 2 times or something, but he fought his way up to become a champion and double champion. Then you have Floyd, you had a pretty boy Floyd, who was exciting knockout artist, and then he switched to Amani Floyd, who developed the best boxing, like defensive boxing style that becomes like a blueprint to a certain extent for American boxing. And then you have Tyson, who I'm not gonna even talk about Tyson. Like, have you seen Tyson's like prime fights? Have you really seen them? He was finishing most of his fights in the first round. Like, that was a very bad example, comparing to the Jake Paul. She's born Georgian and raised in Georgia. Yes, that's true. All the best for your training. Don't get injured, because I really want you to see you always live and want to train myself too. I appreciate it. That's a very nice wish, and I'll do my best. I'm a person who, if I feel that, you can feel when there's something wrong with your body, your knees, your elbows, your like different parts of the body, I always stop. I rather stop that training at that time and just prevent that injury from developing rather than just push through. So so far that's one of the reasons I'm pretty well off. I come second to your live stream coincidentally after 2 months. That's cool. Welcome back. I'm a big Tony Ferguson fan. Prime Tony moved like no one else, everyone to perfect. He had the nastiest flow. It was so mean. Tony was a legend, and you can call him a legend now. It's like there's huge respect to the guy just said, like he had the tendency for some mental issues from the very beginning. Like if you watch some Ultimate Fighter stuff, like sometimes he would say something that completely was off the like that didn't make sense. And what do you think? One of the what if fights would be Tony Ferguson versus Khabib Nurmagomedov. What do you think about that? What about Khamzat Chimaev, the beast, the animal? I don't see anyone yet who can take him out. As long as he continues even better in his cardio and everything else, and his game plan is like how you call it, safe and sound. Like, because what he did to DDP was that he just didn't let him do anything. Full wrestling style control. He didn't even engage in the BJJ and Khamzat himself said that when he in the last round, in the last minute, the coach gave him like a green light for trying to submit DDP, and DDP, being completely worn out, still managed to end up on the top. So that's why I think a lot of people don't underestimate DDP as like, oh, he was just like, Khamzat tried it in the end, and Khamzat thought himself that I made a mistake, and he ended up on the top. But at that point, it didn't matter, because Khamzat executed the game plan perfectly. And what can I say? I mean, if he continues the way he does, he might be unbeatable for many years. It also depends how frequently he's going to fight. That is like another question. Did you watch the video where Tyson throws away his belts and says they're garbage? I've seen that one. How are you? I'm doing well. Okay. I think Tony probably still would have lost against Khabib, but imagine if we got a 4-round war, then Khabib got the submission, but if Tony would have caught him, that would have been awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think at that point because it depends also, like in the very early, like how long they tried to organize their fight for 3 or 5 years? That was like 3 attempts or something, and every time it failed. There was once Tony pulled out, second time Khabib got sick because of the weight cut. And well, that's the thing. On the second one, for example, if Khabib didn't lose his consciousness because of weight cut and he didn't get sick, but he would still was weakened, Tony could win, because that's the thing. Sometimes it's not about fighter making a mistake. Sometimes it's a preparational mistake. Sometimes it's an injury. Sometimes it's just dehydration, basically. That's what happens frequently with the weight cuts and water cuts. So yeah, I mean, it still remains a what if kind of thing. So there's no point to speculate on it way too much, but yeah. Did you really like DDP versus Boris as a fight? Like, was it the greatest fight of all time? No, it wasn't. It was a wrestling match, I'll be honest. But did I watch it as a wrestling match, and was I like tense while watching it? Yeah, I was, because I think if you watch UFC, you gotta be ready to watch however the fight goes. If it's striking, dominating a fight, you watch it intensively. If it's BJJ, if it goes majority on the ground, you kind of watch it. I understand and I agree that it shouldn't be a thing all the time. It can get boring. It's kind of a dilemma for the sport. I don't know what kind of rules had to be set or what has to be changed that it becomes more balanced. But at the same time, like you gotta have to be able to enjoy wrestling and grappling if you're watching mixed martial arts. If you don't, then watch, like you really better watch some kickboxing and Muay Thai, boxing, etc. So as I said, as much as I don't think it was the best fight ever, as a wrestling bout, mostly wrestling bout, I was quite tense and I was quite engaged the entire fight. RDR is the only one that would be worth fighting Khamzat. You really need a jiu-jitsu guy to beat Khamzat. Not only jiu-jitsu, like DDP has a solid jiu-jitsu, but he didn't manage to use it unless he got this gap. And Khamzat's not going to give you a gap unless his coach tells him, and like maybe in the last round. So that's the thing. Not only BJJ, someone who has a solid, at least takedown defense. But like when I see when you watch Khamzat, the way how he goes for a takedown attempt, it's like a wolf jumping at you. Like even if he just grabs your pinky, that is enough for him to get your legs and just put you on the ground. So like doing a takedown defense against Khamzat is not that easy, especially if the guy is not tired and if he's like pacing well. But yeah, anyways, I'm just you need someone who is a very well-rounded fighter, or like grappling, wrestling, and striking as well, and ideally better in striking than him. Someone who can force the fight in the upper, in the striking, in the stance, and then can have the moments where they do the impact through exchanging some punches and kicks and that kind of stuff. But I don't know. Do you think there's someone at this point? Anyways, I'm keep scrolling up, guys. I'm a little bit way too behind. After Khabib's dad died, I think that would have been the time for Tony to go after him, as messed up as it's to say it's like that. I mean, yeah, emotional factors like that. When his father died, he basically retired, and yeah, he didn't want to fight without his father at all. So yeah, I mean, and I believe that when you have such a thing going, it's a little bit hard unless you're very strong or you completely you're able to refocus fully. You shouldn't fight. You should cancel the fight because, again, some can do it, some people cannot. Do you push-ups and what's your personal best? I don't know. I can do push-ups, maybe 10, 15, like the proper ones. I can do more, I guess, but just, yeah. I wanted DDP to make a comeback so badly. I'm not a fan of Khamzat. There's something about his vibe aura that feels icky to me. Well, I might agree with that. I don't think he's a bad person, but yeah, definitely. He's definitely a different culture, different, certain different ideas about certain things. I do like DDP. I think if DDP trains his wrestling, at least a takedown defense, at least like something that to be able to contradict against Khamzat's wrestling offense. He could do something because I do think if that fight would go in stance, like DDP, considering that he survived and even took the initiative in the end, catching in a mistake, Khamzat after 5 rounds completely trying to survive and not being getting submitted by Khamzat. I think he just didn't have a chance to do anything, and that's fair enough. I'm not saying that, oh, what if? I mean, the way it happened. But hypothetically speaking, if DDP had a better wrestling and better takedown defense, I think it could go. The fight could go differently. Who do you think can be a good challenger for Khamzat in the middleweight? At this point, I don't think about anyone. All Muslim fighters are great. I mean, some of them are great. Some of them are good. Like Shara Bullet, he's a good fighter, but he's not in the top. Is he top 15 even? I'm not even sure about that. But I can tell you that most of the Muslim fighters are good, at least coming from Dagestan and Chechnya. They're good wrestlers and good grapplers. Hi everyone. Nate Diaz had a heart which today's fighters lack. Yeah, both Diaz brothers were something else. Don't you agree? And again, not to okay, we have Justin Gaethje, and I think is it Topuria versus Gaethje? It's good. I mean, a little bit of generational gap, but I think it could be a good fight. I hope it's going to be a good fight. I want it to be a tough fight. I don't want to just for Ilya to be very easy, because I want which fight was I remember Ilya versus Herbert was a tough fight, even though it ended in the second round, but in the first round Ilya almost got knocked out just because Herbert relaxed for a second and Ilya just recouped and got his leg and got up and had some control time, and then on the second round he just went full in and it was like crazy exchange and he just knocked him out. That was cool. So would love to see I would love to see Gaethje giving him a hard time. Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway, all these guys were from that generation that was they were not running away, they were doing the stuff. Alexander Volkanovski, he's actually a champion now, so after he reclaimed his featherweight. So I think Alexander Volkanovski is actually at the best point out of all previous generation fighters who are kind of getting closer to the retirement age. And 34, well, Merab is in the age, he's 34 years old. Some people forget about it, but he's quite older too. Was he the one? I think Merab said he's planning to fight till 50, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But for Merab, seems nothing is impossible. That seems like. Okay, I keep scrolling up, guys. My husband says she's Georgian, born and raised in Georgia. Yes. I keep scrolling up, guys. Are you from Russia? No, I'm from Georgia. Why is Ilya running away from Arman? I don't think Ilya running away from Arman. Arman is, as much as I don't like Arman talking much and ducking Islam and pulling out of the fights because of the painful back, but really not making weight. Anyways, I think for Ilya, one of the hardest fights, or challenging fights at least, would be with Arman. So no one says it's like an easy fight. But like to me, it was like, yeah, maybe it was a little bit last day, oh, I would give up on the belt, I'm not gonna fight this guy. But it was more about like Ilya was begging for a fight with Islam. He wanted to fight Islam. He came up to the weight class to fight Islam. And then there was this Islam versus Sarukian scheduled second one. Like, so the guy gets the chance to have a rematch with Islam Makhachev, and he just pulls out the day before because of the sore back, which is not like Dana White never said anything about that. He said he didn't just make weight. So, okay, he rather is irresponsible or he just pulled the trick and decided to. So, I mean, I believe that a lot of fighters in the division were like, what? I mean, we want that chance. You just gave up on that chance. So I think that's why there were talks that Arman has to fight someone else before, at least before going to for the title shot again. That's the point. But Ilya inevitably going to fight Arman. I'm pretty much sure. So probably after Gaethje. That's what I think. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. I go for Ilya. Nina is to be blamed for that. Nina curse. I knew he was going to get his ass whooped by some, but that's the point. I mean, as a fighter, I'd rather go fight you second time if it's already scheduled. Like, rather than pulling out, like, day before. If he knew that he would get kicked, like, he would lose to him, at least he in the first place, he had to pull out earlier and, like, let others know, so there would, it wouldn't be a problem for the organization and everyone else, you know? Because when you pull out, like, the last day, it is disrespect to others, too. Unless you have, again, like, if you just have a dehydration and just, like, a major, you're hospitalized, that's one thing. But when you just pull out because you just want to, that's a disrespect. That's disrespect towards other people, your opponent, their team, the organization, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, I don't think a lot of people like that behavior. I'm starting boxing this week, and I'm very afraid about my nose. I mean, just start slowly, and you don't have to go heavy sparrings at all in the beginning, and you can always use the helmet and try to work with experienced people who know how to work light. But anyways, guys, well, I gotta go now. Thank you for being here, and I see you next time, okay? So keep training. Might join for more training with the guys, and yeah, see you next time. Ciao.